Hey everybody, it's Justice for Comics. What's going on? It's Thursday night. It's time for the Thursday night comics live stream. I'm coming to you live from the closet. By the way, I'm moving into a new home in June. I will have my own dedicated comic book room. So I'll have comic books behind me. I'll have nice shelving. It's gonna look a lot more high end. I don't know, maybe I'll have one of those little microphones like a lot of these guys have that have comic book channels. Maybe I'll try to look more professional, maybe. I don't know, we'll see. My wife's gonna help me design the room, make it look really nice. Cheers, everyone. Drinking a little bit of bourbon here, a little bourbon whiskey, ease me into the evening. So there's a lot to talk about. I got a lot of books to show. I got a lot of stuff in the last week. Um, Stuff I ordered a while ago. I have a graded book to show off tonight, and I've got one that should have came this week, but I had problems with the eBay seller. I'll go over that. I'll talk at length about that. It's kind of a nightmare. Still dealing with it. It's not yet over until I get the book in hand, obviously. Till then, I'll uh, just give you my take on what's going on with the current state of the comic book market. There are definitely some deals out there, especially in auctions. There's a couple auctions that I won a few auctions here that have been really good. You know, as far as pricing, books that I've been watching for a long time, I got for a fraction of what they used to go for maybe a year or so ago. So there are some good deals. You just have to be kind of selective. Comic book exclusives are not selling out as quickly as I've seen in the past. So there is, there's some issues with that. I would say if you're buying a comic book exclusive for the sole purpose of flipping it for some gains, I'd say your print run has to be probably 250 or less. The print run has to be really low, and it's got to be with a pretty good artist. Like, yeah, stuff is just not selling out. I mean, I saw it. There was a what was it the other day I bought, and I didn't buy it to flip it or spec on it. I just bought it because I liked the cover and I wanted it in the comic book collection. Um, there was an Ivan Tao cover, Nintendo homage that was limited to only 400 copies, and I don't think it still hasn't sold out. So there was another one. What was the other one? I think it was the same. Um, it might have been it was another indie book exclusive, and it was limited to like 300. It still hasn't sold out. So yeah, it's tough. It's just stuff that normally would sell out in 5 minutes or less is not selling out in a day or two. So it's just the way it is right now. Let me give a shout out to a couple people in the chat. We got Luis Ramirez here, 504. Good to see you. We got GTK Comic. He's asking 8 Billion Genies, number 8, the Macomb exclusive, economics and comics exclusive. Yeah, I was just watching Billy was doing a pre-order live stream on his channel. I was watching that for a few minutes. I chimed in. He was wondering if I was involved in that, if I was on the chat in that Coffin Comics exclusive Lady Death. What was it? The Lady Death Cybernetic Desecration. They always got these crazy names. Cybernetic Desecration. All right. I only did it not because I'm a big Lady Death fan or I'm a big Coffin Comics fan. I'm not. I'm a big Frizen fan, and they had a really cool exclusive with Frizen, and there's only going to be 90 sets, 90 copies of this book. It's going to be pretty limited. And there's a lot of Frizen collectors out there. I'm one of the hardcore Frizen collectors. I tend to buy a lot of her stuff. Um, she does a lot of covers though, man. Over the years, it's amazing how many covers she's done. I don't. I only have maybe 20% of the stuff that she's done. So I got a long, long way to go if I want to kind of complete a really good Frizen cover collection. It says GTK Comics says the Justice for Comics YouTube brand is supposed to be a little bit low budget, organic for the people. Keep it the way it is, please. Thanks. Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be, yeah. It won't have production value. I think maybe the only thing that will be different is I'll have a nicer room, maybe some lighting effects in the background. I'll have some, every week I'll maybe have different comic books behind me that we can discuss and look at, and you guys can pawn over and wish that you owned it yourself. Yeah, I may have, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of comic books in my collection that I've never shown, never talked about. So it'd be kind of nice to have a wall display where I can kind of put them all up behind me, and you guys can see. Maybe I'll do themes. Like one night I might do like an X-Men theme, and I'll have a bunch of X-Men keys on the board behind me and that kind of stuff. So I want to have a nice setup. I'll have my own room, my own desk, close the door, have some privacy, and it will be a little bit better. But yeah, it'll still be low tech. I don't do edited videos. I mean, I don't do any of that. It's usually all live stream. It's all live. I screw up. That's the way it goes. It's part of my charm, I suppose. Right. All right. Okay. So we're going to talk about some books. I got a lot of books in the mail. I think I've shown some of these. I'm putting some of these away in boxes. So before I put them in a box, I want to kind of show them. I think I highlighted this. If you guys, I don't know if you've read this or not, Swamp Thing Green Hell, issue number 1. Man, it's such a good read. Issue 2, I think, just came out. And then issue 3 will be coming out, I believe, in March. Yeah, I mean, it's Jeff Lemire writing. The artwork is fantastic. You got Mankey doing the interior art. You've got these beautiful covers by Christian Ward. This is the 1 in 25 second printing foil as well, which is kind of a virgin. These are black labels. So these are oversized, magazine-sized comic books. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of magazine-sized books, but the black label ones, they're so good. The writing is so awesome. The art's so good. They're too good to pass up. You just have to put them in one of those, you get these CGC boxes. They fit really good in one of the CGC boxes, the short box. So that's kind of what I store them in. I like to store them in those type of boxes. So I've got a couple boxes of these magazine-sized covers, and that's just the way it is. Got a little different storage available there. I've got some graded books. I'll show those off maybe closer to the end of my show and tell of all these books. I've got some wrestling comic books to show as well. I have a couple more coming in the mail. I probably should wait to show those until I get all of them, but I'll just show them again. Shit, I do that all the time. Most of you are used to that anyways. All right. So part of what I'm going to talk about tonight is I've really been getting into the nostalgia of Transformers and G.I. Joe. I love those cartoon properties. When I was a kid, I used to watch the G.I. Joe cartoon. I watched the Transformers. I had G.I. Joe figures. I had a couple of the Transformers. I didn't have Optimus Prime. I had what did I have? I think I might have had Starscream. I don't know. I didn't keep them, obviously. I wish I had. I think I had one of those Dinobots too. I think I had that Grimlock Dinobot. So I was into the cartoon. I like G.I. Joe. I think that was my favorite cartoon, was the G.I. Joe show. I think Transformers was also pretty good. So I'm getting into the G.I. Joe and Transformer comic books. It just was one of those properties that I always kind of knew that I should buy, because long term, I still think there's a lot of collectability to them. They're constantly going to be, in my opinion, they're constantly going to be having movies of Transformers. You got one coming out here very soon. I think next month, if I'm not mistaken. And GI Joe, the GI Joe movies I think could be done better. I liked the first one quite a bit. The second one not as well, but I do think that they could come up with some better stuff for those properties. So I still think there's a lot more upside with Transformers and GI Joe. So this is one that I got. I got two different copies. The first one is the Canadian price variant, issue number 11. This is the first cameo appearance of Destro. He's basically blacked out. You kind of see him in shadow, but you obviously know it's Destro. The other one I need to get still is issue 14, which is the first full appearance, and he's on the cover. So 14 is an important issue, but believe it or not, issue 11 kind of goes for more money than issue 14. So that is the Canadian price variant. You can see up there, 75 cents. Normally, how you could tell it's the US variant. Well, the US goes for 60 cents. So the Canadian price variant's a little, obviously, the dollar has always been worth more than the Canadian dollar. So there's now this is the direct copy. So the Canadian price variant is definitely more rare, even more rare than the newsstand. So, and the Canadian price variant is basically also always going to be a newsstand. But yeah, they're both really high grade. The Canadian price variants, I would say it's a VF plus. It's probably like an 8.5 to 9.0. The spine's pretty good. There's maybe a couple little dents. A lot of it, I think that it could be pressed out, but it's not a 9.5 or 9.4 or 9.6 or anything. It's probably 8.5 to 9.0. The Canadian price variant, but my direct edition is definitely probably a 9.6 to a 9.8, really high grade. So it's kind of cool. I love Destro's my favorite villain of all the. I like him better than Cobra Commander. I think he's just a badass. He was, at least he was in the cartoon, anyways. I don't know. In the TV, I think in the movie he seemed they didn't do a very good job with him in the movie, in my opinion. The other property I'm collecting is Transformers. So I do have that Transformers number 1, 9.6 white pages, direct edition, not a newsstand. Newsstands, they want a lot of money for that. But I'm happy with this. It's really, really high grade, nice looking book. I got a really good deal on it. Probably the cheapest price on this book, 9.6 that's sold in quite a while. Took my time. I found the right deal. I found the right seller. So I picked this up for a really nice deal. Probably could sell it and make a decent profit off of it. So Transformers number 1. Now, the other one I don't have because I had a problem with the seller. The seller sent me the wrong book. They sent me, I think I took a picture of it. So I open up the box. The other day thinking, oh, okay, let's take a look and see. Expecting it to be my GI Joe number 1 in 9.6 grade, white pages. And instead it was Star Wars Kanan number 1, which is certainly not near as valuable as GI Joe number 1, and it's a 9.6. I don't know why he sent this. So obviously he sent the wrong book. So I messaged the seller right away, and first of all, that kind of pisses me off. The guy didn't even apologize. He just goes, "Oh crap, I'll check when I get home." And then the next day doesn't message me. I have to message him, and he goes, "Oh, I didn't get a chance to look." So finally today he goes, "Oh, I found it." And so I said, "Great, send me the tracking number when you get a chance." "Okay, I will." Still haven't gotten the tracking number. So, obviously I'm dealing with some moron eBay seller. He's obviously not going to get positive feedback from me. He's going to get negative feedback. It's one thing if you make a mistake, but he never apologized. There's just a lot of amateurs on eBay. You got to be, that's one thing I don't do a good enough job is when I'm looking at a listing, looking at the seller, how long have they been selling on eBay? Are they a power seller? Do they have any negative feedback? I should pay more attention to that because, oh man, this guy is not going to get positive feedback. He's not going to get neutral feedback. He's going to get negative feedback because he did not respond. He's not responding in a timely manner. He's not communicating like he should be. And he deserves negative feedback. So that's what he's going to get. Um, I don't know. Just kind of pisses me off. I still don't have the book. I mean, I bought that book over a week and a half ago. He's sending it 3-day priority mail. I've got, so I have to send his book back, by the way. He hasn't even fronted me the money for shipping. He's going to hopefully do that, or I'm going to have to contact eBay and have them penalize him somehow. So he owes me $8.82 for priority mail shipping. I have not dropped it in the mail yet because I'm not doing that until I see a tracking number and that it's been received by the post office. So I don't know. We'll see what happens here. Just a pain in the butt. Just a moron seller. What are you gonna do? It happens. I mean, it doesn't happen to me very often. Most of the time, I don't have any glitches, no problems. I haven't had any big issues in quite some time. But yeah, you buy comic books a lot, it's gonna happen. You know, maybe every 25th or 30th book that you buy, you know, there's going to be maybe damage to it, or the seller sent you the wrong book. Yeah, that just shit happens. Just, you know, there's ways to handle things, and he's obviously not handling it the correct way, which is pretty typical these days, I suppose. All right. I agree, as a seller, GI Joe keys sell fast. Hey, we got Kenneth Bird in the house. Good to see you, Kenneth. We got cardstock variant. Good to see you as well. Do modern Canadian comic books have price variance? Good question. I know 80s and 90s. I don't know when they stopped having Canadian price variance. I know that there's some books in the mid 90s, maybe up to late 90s, that were Canadian price variance. A lot of them in the 80s. Most of the ones I typically find are in the 1980s. But I have seen people sell Canadian price variance in the 90s. I've never seen one as modern as 2000. I don't think, or you know, any time in the last 20 years, at least not to my knowledge. So most of them I've seen have always been 1980s or 1990s. But good question, and somebody else knows differently, chime in. I'm not an expert in the matter. Maybe GTE Comic is. He said the last price variant he saw was in the late 1980s. Yeah, definitely more in the 80s, but I think there were some in the 90s too. So I believe I've seen a few in the 90s. All right, so GI Joe Transformers. I definitely want to acquire more key books. There's a lot of them, different characters like Sergeant Slaughter for GI Joe. I'd like to get his first appearance. The other villain I really liked from GI Joe was Zartan. I thought Zartan was always awesome. I think he could like impersonate. He could change. He had like different appearances. He was kind of like he was almost like a secret agent type. Obviously, one of the big keys is Storm Shadow's first appearance. That's a really, really expensive book. I would like to find a really good deal on that one. That's probably going to take time though, because that book is so expensive. It's probably overpriced, but it's a tough book to find in high grade for some reason. Um, it's not like a black cover, but it's like a darker bluish gray color to the cover. It's just a little harder to find in high grade. But yeah, so there's some GI Joe, the Transformer. There's not a whole lot more Transformer books. Issue 1 is such a good one because it's got all the different Autobots and Decepticons. You've got first appearance of, oh man, you got, you know, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, all the major Autobot characters. You got Megatron's first appearance. Issue 4, which I do have, seller, the gentleman that sold me the 9.6, he also included issues 2 through 4 of Transformers. So I think 4 is the first appearance of Shockwave. So I have his first appearance as well in high grade. So yeah, that was a pretty good deal. I mean, not only did I get a good deal in the book, but I get issues 2 through 4 basically for free. So, so there's a few more. I mean, there might be a few more keys in that Transformer run. That issue 4 is also the first cameo appearance of the Dinobots. it's really first appearance. I mean, it actually says Dinobots and it says Grimlock, and it just does it just it's like in one or two panels only. But they consider that to be cameo. But I think issue 8 is the first full appearance of the Dinobots. So yeah, there's still a few Transformer books that I wouldn't mind picking up if I could get good deals. But yeah, that's lately what I've been kind of on that kick of just trying to get some keys in that 1980s GI Joe Transformers. I was a big fan of those cartoons. I still think there's a lot more collectability ahead. I think those books are going to go higher in value as time goes on. Wake Essentia number 15 sold out at Midtown, not available at Torpedo Comics either. When Ben Stein, CBSI, mentioned the redeemable coupon program, those Essentia books 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 went rocketing up. Yeah, I don't know much about that book. I heard that from you, GTK Comic. I know you mentioned it to me the other day. I think they're redeemable for like an Adam Hughes. Was it an Adam Hughes cover or something? I can't remember. It was some artist that obviously is in demand. Yeah, I don't know much about it. You are right. That Essentia 15 sold out in a hot minute on Midtown. I checked it the same day and it was already gone. Most of the online sites that I use had it sold out already. So, yeah, we'll have to see what happens. That might be something that I don't imagine you're going to find that very easily at an LCS. It's a very minute, small print run publisher. Cardstock says, how do they mark and sell their comics at Canadian price now? Yeah, I don't know. Good question. Maybe GTK Comic can answer that. I don't know. He's in Canada. Jim's Comics is also in Canada. I know he buys at his local shop in Canada. I do know that Canadians pay a hell of a lot more in shipping if they buy books from the U.S. So I know a lot of people in Canada, collectors in Canada, don't like to buy exclusives, store exclusives, because the shipping's more money, that kind of thing. So, oh, there we go. So for those redeemable coupons, looks like Adam Hughes and Frank Miller secret variants. So, yeah, I can see why people are going nuts for that. I would love to have a secret Adam Hughes cover. I love Adam Hughes covers. I'm not such a big fan of Frank Miller covers, but there's a lot of people that do like Frank Miller covers. I'm more of an Adam Hughes fan as far as covers go. Speaking of Frank Miller, I do have a book I could show, sort of related to that, that I got in the mail. This is one that's been highlighted before by CBSI, Comic Book Investment. I'm pretty sure Ben Stein is a big fan because he's posted it on his Instagram before. He seems to like this book, and I like it too. It's a really cool cover. It's a Jock cover, but it is a Frank Miller production. Frank Miller's 300. This was a New York Comic Con exclusive. It has a COA. Basically, it's signed by Jock. You can see there's the signature by Jock. I got this for like $40 plus shipping. It was like maybe $46. So pretty good. I like the cover. It's a white cover. It's in high grade. It's, I made sure it looks pretty good. But it's the 25th anniversary of Frank Miller's 300, Dark Horse. And I just love the cover. It's kind of all the different shields making up the helmet. Yeah, it's just awesome. Just a cool looking cover. How good will that look back on my wall, right? Sitting on a shelf. Yeah, sweet. So that's a nice Frank Miller book. Thought I would highlight that since we talked about Frank Miller there. All right, more books to show. Man, this is a good one to look for. We'll check eBay and see what the prices are on this now. I know this was a hot book a couple weeks ago. This came up on the CBSI Hot 10 list a couple weeks ago. This is the Oliver Copiel Static Shadows of Dakota #1. This is the 1 in 100 foil variant. I've got one more of these coming, by the way. I ordered another one from another online retailer, and they're waiting. I guess they're waiting for a replacement. The book somehow got damaged or something. So hopefully I'll get that second copy. I'd like to have two copies of this book. Obviously, it's great just to have one. And if I look up on eBay right now, let's see what that book's going for. Let's take a look. Let me share my screen. Make sure I'm doing this correctly. There we go. All right. Let me increase blow this up a little bit. So there's one copy here for $160 plus $10 shipping. And you got another one from the UK priced at $145 plus $34 shipping. And then you've got the regular C cover, which is not the foil cover. And that's it. Only two copies for sale on eBay at the moment. That's interesting. So last time I looked, I think there were like 4 copies for sale. Now there's only 2. And if I go to sold listings, February 21st, just a couple days ago, there was a copy that sold at $180 plus $5 shipping. There's already a 9.6 grade. Boy, looks like that might be a tough book to get in 9.8. There's 2 9.6s that sold for $150 each. Wow. There's one for $140, another one for $140, another one for $140. So $140 to $150 seems to be the price range. There's one for $175. There's one at $204 with it's got the whole bundle basically. It's probably a good deal. Yeah. $199. Took a little lower offer. This might be a tough book to get in high grade. It is a foil cover. Mine appears to be super high grade. I don't see anything wrong with it that would give it a 9.6 grade. But you never know. It is a thinner. It's not a really thick cardstock. These foil covers by DC, they are very thin, so they might be more. It might be easier for them to be damaged because of that. Perhaps, I don't know. Man, I think it's definitely one of the best covers of the year so far for 2023. This will definitely be on my hot cover list for the year. I'm pretty sure that's going to stay on the list for the entire year. It might even make the top 10. I love it. I think it's an awesome cover. So that is one to look for if you can find a good deal on it. But it looks like there's only 2 listings on eBay at the moment. So that's probably going to be a tough book to find. I don't think a lot of shops are going to order 100 copies of Static. It's not exactly a character that sells really well. So it's probably going to be long term. It's going to be one of those books that is probably going to be pretty difficult to find, especially if people like the character. They don't want to part with the book. They're going to hold on to it. So you're going to see less and less of them for sale. So don't be surprised if you see this book long term. I'm talking long term, not in a week or two or a month or two. Years from now, I think you could see this book climbing a lot higher in price because of the scarcity of it. GTK Comics says Canadian LCSs just do a quick currency conversion. A book runs $550 to $650 per book Canadian. Okay, that makes sense. Someone at my LCS offered me $575 for all 5 Essentia books, 13 to 17. Claimed the Secret Hughes Miller variants will be selling on eBay for $500 to $600 US. Your opinion, wise one? I could definitely see the Adam Hughes selling for big money. A rare variant by him, especially if it's really good. Obviously, I don't know. I don't think we know what the book looks like. If he's done a great job with the cover, which he most of the time does, especially if it's a woman on the cover. It's probably going to do really well. Yeah, it would not shock me if it's selling on eBay for that price eventually. That would not shock me. So that seems very, very believable to me. I could definitely see that happening. By the way, there is a cool looking Adam Hughes book coming out. Let's see if there's any more for sale. It was a Rocketeer book. Yes, they do have it. There you go. This is coming out. Looks like in May. This is a May pre-order. Rocketeer #1, the Adam Hughes cover. Very nice. He did a good job on that one. In typical Hughes fashion, he obviously does a nice. Anytime there's a woman's face on the cover and it's done by Adam Hughes, it's going to sell. The ones that don't sell are the ones he's done where it's just a man or an action scene. If it's a female with a smiling face, he's got he does the eyes perfect. It sells. It does well. If it's just a or standard superhero, male superhero, no, it's not going to sell. So make sure if you're going to get an Adam Hughes cover, it has a female on the cover. Those are the ones that do well. The non-female Adam Hughes covers don't do anything. So just be aware of that. Now, Golden Apple is showing just the regular A cover. They did also have a 1 in 10 version of this. They may not have it anymore, though. Let me see. The Rocketeer. Well, I think they still do have it. Yes, they do. So they've got this priced at $25. Obviously, more than Ratio. It's going to be a virgin version. I don't know how many they have left. Sometimes, I don't know. Some people are able to see quantities when they're on websites. I've never been able to see how many are left. Chasing Comics, I somehow he has the ability to see like how many are left. He's done that on several books where he's able to see what's left, like on exclusives and stuff. I don't know. I know that I grabbed one of these off of Golden Apple. I've not seen it offered anywhere else on pre-order. So obviously, if you can get it closer to Ratio near $10, I think that's the way to go. But if you try to pre-order this book through DCBS service, yeah, it's definitely going to be $25, $30. They're going to have it jacked up in price. I had a coupon. I think Golden Apple sent me a coupon. They refunded me on something. I don't know. Probably shipping cost. I don't know. It was like a $10 coupon. So basically, I used the $10 coupon on this book. So it got it. Yeah, I basically got it for $15. But yeah, I like it. I don't know if it's going to be all that rare or not, but it's a nice Adam Hughes cover. So if you're interested, they do have them still for sale at Golden Apple on their site. I've not seen them on any other online site yet. So, if you want to be patient, maybe you can find a better deal. Golden Apple tends to be on the expensive side. So most people are aware of that. But yeah, it's a nice Adam Hughes cover. All right. Yeah, let me get back to a few books here. I still have a lot of books to show. This is another Frizzen book. Know Your Station #1. I read it. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was any. I think this is Vault. I think it's Vault Comics. Is it? Is it Vault Comics? Or is it Image? It might be Image. Oh, it's Boom. It's Boom Studios. Yeah, I thought it was okay. I didn't think the story was all that gripping, but it's a Frizzen cover. This is the 1 in 25, I think. Or no, I'm sorry. Is it the 1 in 25? I think it's the 1 in 25. There is a 1 in 50 that's a trade dress. Usually the 1 in 50 is a virgin, so I don't know. Yeah, I was okay with just the 1 in 25. It's like, yeah, it's okay. The 1 in 50, it's not like a foil. It's just basically the same thing, but it's a trade dress. I'd be probably more apt to have ordered the 1 in 50 if it was like a foil or had something more special to it. But I'm a big Frizen fan. You guys know that. I like Frizen. I'm a Frizen fan, Frizen fanatic. All right, here's another book. I didn't know what this cover looked like, but I do like Mahaney, Mateus Mahaney's art. This is Green Lantern Emerald Knight. It's kind of hard to see. It's a nice foil. This is a 1 in 50. So it's a little hard to see because of the foil. It's just kind of a cool looking cover. I haven't read it yet, so I still need that's in my to read pile. Behold Behemoth. I think this is another Boom Studios. This is the Martin Simmons cover, Virgin cover. I think it's a 1 in 25. Just a cool looking cover. It's kind of scary. Just thought that was cool, so I picked that up for pretty cheap. For you Jim Lee fans, this is a Jim Lee foil. This is, I think, Detective Comics. I'm definitely gonna take this out of the Mylar because it's a little shiny. It's a little too shiny. Let's see if I can get it out of here. It's also kind of sticks to the Mylite a little bit. Yeah, this is the 1 in 50 for Detective Comics, number 1067. There's the back of it by Jim Lee, and there's the front. It's kind of cool. Looks like a mirror, almost like a mirror. Very silvery, very foily, silver foil. I think you can get it still on eBay for like $30, so it's not like it's selling. I got it for like $34, so it's about what it sells for on eBay. I'm a Jim Lee fan. I like it. I thought, I'll pick it up. What the heck? All right, now I do have some books to show you that are kind of relevant at the moment. These showed up on a Hot 10 list a couple weeks ago. Or was it last week? I think it was last week's. The new Flash trailer. In that new Flash trailer that premiered during the Super Bowl, they showed basically a Supergirl, which is Kara Zor-El. Kara Zor-El showed up in Batman Superman number 8. Good old Michael Turner. This is the second print sketch cover by Michael Turner. I only have one of these. Probably could have bought more too. I don't think they were that expensive. I got them for cover price. And then I've got the regular issue 8. I love the regular cover. I mean, I think I have 5 of them. Yeah, I have 5 of them. So I have 5 copies of that book. Yeah, I like it. I used to be a big Turner. I was a big Turner fan. I mean, it's a shame that he died so young. I think he died at like 33 or 34 years old from cancer. Terrible. I think he had like Hodgkin's lymphoma or something like. It was kind of one of those rare cancers that just, if you get it, doesn't matter what age you are, it kind of just takes you out. So it's too bad. That's why I drink a lot of whiskey. I figure that kills all the cancer cells in my body. All right, and then there's a B cover also for that issue 8. I like the regular cover a little bit better, but I did pick up one of those for the variant. And then issue 9, another Turner cover. I got 2 of those bad boys. Shows Kara on the cover there. So I think technically issue 9 might be her first cover appearance. And man, issue 11, I love this cover. This cover is so badass. It's got Darkseid on it. Oh man, that cover is so awesome. Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, and Darkseid. Oh, 2 copies of that. I'll never sell that book. I love that cover. I love it. I'm not selling any of these books, by the way. I know they're selling for what, $30 to $40 on eBay. $30 to $40 ain't gonna try and change my life. I'm gonna hold on to them. Maybe one day I'll sell one of them. I don't know. Issue 12. I love that cover too by Turner. Darkseid. And it's got Kara Zor-El on the cover. Very nice. Got 2 of those. As you can tell, I was a big Turner fan back in the day. Issue 13, another awesome cover. Supergirl on the cover there by Turner. And then, yeah, I love this cover too. That's the B cover, done also by Turner. Sweet, sweet cover. Love it. And then I've got, I think 1 through 7 Supergirl. They came out with her own little series. I don't know how many issues it ran. I think I only picked up the first 7 issues. So there's issue number 1 and issue 2. And then there is a separate variant cover for issue 2 that has a Turner cover. So another nice Turner cover, which was pretty sweet. I don't know what any of these Supergirl books are going for. Then I got issues basically 3 through 7. I think Turner only, yeah, well, he did issue 5. So he did a cover for issue 5, Turner did. But yeah. Yeah, I picked those up back in the day. Bought them all for cover price. Held on to them. So I had dug through and found them in a box. Thought I would highlight those since those have been making the list on hot books lately. All right. I talked about that book. Oh, this was a book that has been talked about a little bit lately. It's The Last Black Panther, Voices, Wakanda Forever. I got these off of my comic shop for cover price, basically. They're going for about $13, $14 a piece now. So there's the I think that's the B cover with the first cover appearance of The Last Black Panther. And then also that cover. It's pretty cool too. So I picked up both of those for cover price, which was nice. Star Wars High Republic number 2, The Blade. This is the 1 in 25 Miko Suyan cover. I think this book goes for pretty good money on eBay. Let me check it real quick. Let me take a look. I will share the screen here in a moment. Let me just pull it up here. Star Wars. By the way, I'm trying to not use my reading glasses because I know it creates a lot of glare on the screen. My eyes are somewhat okay. I see a little bit better with the reading glasses, but I can get by without them. All right. So it looks like on eBay right now, there's a buy it now for $65, another one for $65, another one for $72, another one for $90. There's one for $50. That would make me question what's wrong with it. There's one for $70, another one for $70, another one for $75. So this book is definitely selling for more than ratio. In some cases, 3 times ratio, or they're asking 3 times ratio. But safe to say it's a $50 to $60 book, so definitely going for more than twice ratio pricing right now, which is good. So I'm glad to have that in the old collection. Picked it up for $17 pre-order. Not bad. Not too shabby. Chasing Comics helped me get that one, so thank you, Chasing Comics. You guys know him as Infamous. Here's another one that I got off of TFAW through Chasing Comics' help. Sins of Sinister number 1. That is the 1 in 100 Artgerm cover, which is going for about $200 on eBay right now. Yeah, I paid $100 for it, but yeah, it's one of those covers that, yeah, just put it in the PC. I'm never going to sell it. There's the 1 in 50 Chichetto cover as well. It was a good story. I liked it. It was a nice read. I'm looking forward to reading more issues of Sins of Sinister and collecting that series. Now, here's a book I've talked about on my channel just because it's so hard to find. It's a San Diego Comic-Con variant that came out in 2015. So, yeah, what was that? 7 years ago? Going on 8 years ago? Quite a while ago. This was that Darkseid run from Justice League. And Darkseid versus the Anti-Monitor. This is kind of a poster variant of the book. Once in a while, there'll be a listing on eBay. Normally, this book is listed around $100 to $150, sometimes more. Graded copies usually go for more money. This is a really high grade copy. It's probably I have a 9.8 slabbed of this book. I have one that's probably a near mint minus. This one's definitely a near mint plus. It's probably 9.6 to 9.8 easily. And it's just such a hard book to find. There's a theory that there's maybe 50 of these books in existence. That's it. I have 3 copies, so it's taken me years to acquire those 3 copies. So this is one that if you want to get this, do a search of this on eBay. You know, Justice League issue 41. Put in SDCC, San Diego Comic Con. If nothing shows up, you know, save it as click on save as a favorite. And obviously, if this book shows up on eBay, you should get an email notification saying, hey, there's a listing of this book. So once in a while, if I see a good deal on one, I grab another one. So this is my 3rd copy. I just love it. It's just such an awesome cover. A yellow cover, it's just so cool. And I think there is it a first appearance of somebody in this issue, or is it a second appearance? Grail, which is the daughter of Darkseid, I think is in one of these issues. I don't know if it's this one or not, but yeah, just a sweet looking book. They gave these out to retailers only at the 2015 San Diego Comic-Con. So I've heard from several people who know this book say there's less than 50 of these in existence. I've got 3, so there's only another 47 out there, if that's true. I don't know if that's true or not. That's the running theory. Another Frizzen book is Hell to Pay, I think it's called. Yeah, Hell to Pay. I think it's issue number 3. There is the it's a 1 in 50. This is a tough book to find. I mean, if I go on eBay right now, I can pretty much guarantee you're not going to find a copy of this bad boy. Let's see here. Hell to Pay, number 3, 1 in 50. Is it Hell to Pay? Or is it Damn? It might be Damn something. Damn to Hell. What the hell? What the hell is the name of this book? Oh, Damn Them All. I'm sorry. God. I was close. I wasn't even close. Damn Them All. Damn it. Damn it. Damn Them All, number 3, 1 in 50. And I don't know why it's showing it listed that way. No matches. Yep. By the way, the seller also gave me a free copy of the 1 in 100. Oh, shit. I was looking on eBay. Sorry, I didn't show my screen. Gave me a free copy of the 1 in 100. So, but I think you can get this off eBay now for like 30 bucks. No one apparently cares about the 1 in 100. They all want the Frizzen cover, which is a 1 in 50, which should be way harder. You know, the 1 in 100 should be way harder to find, but apparently not the case because there are listings on eBay around 30 bucks. But the Frizzen cover, nowhere to be found. I've not seen it listed since I bought it. Just a beautiful looking cover. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. 1 in 50. How many shops are going to order 50 copies? I don't know. I don't know, but it's just an awesome cover by Frizzen. And I've not seen any listings since last week, so could be one of those rare Frizzen books that down the road are worth a bunch of money. You never know. All right, this is The Exiled, number 1. This is the Wesley Snipes. This is a cover by David Sanchez. Shout out to David Sanchez. I dig his art. He did that Tupac cover for Department of Truth number, what was it, number 11 or 13? Might have been 11. That's like a $500 book now. I like his art style. I mean, he's really good at sketching faces. Nice portrait sketch of Wesley Snipes. Yeah, it's good. I think this was limited to 500 copies. I think you can still buy it. There's a couple sites that are selling it. Check out David Sanchez Art on Instagram. He has a post on this, so if you're interested in it, you can check out his IG, and it'll direct you to the exclusive store that's selling it. Total cover buy for me. I didn't buy it. to flip it. I only bought one copy just for the personal collection. I just think it'll look nice on the wall. Maybe I'll do a David Sanchez night, and I'll have this up there with the Tupac. So I just like it. It's just cool art. Total cover buy. All right, we're getting down to the last few books. This one I got in the mail today. This was an auction. I got a really, really good deal on this. Again, auctions, there are some really awesome deals. So if there's been a book that you've had your eye on for a while, maybe for the last couple of years, keep checking every week to see, hey, is there an auction coming up on this book? This was an auction. It was late at night. It ended late at night. I don't think there were too many people watching it. So, I'm one of those guys at the last second, 2 seconds left, boom, put my bid in, and I won this one. I don't win them all, but if it's later at night, I try to set my alarm to wake me up. Oh, whatever. It's 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night. Sometimes you can get a really good deal on an auction. So some people just aren't aware. They just go ahead and they put their book on there and select auction. They don't think about when the auction is going to end. So that does affect how well a book sells, believe it or not. So this was one that I had my eye on for a long time. I'm a big Mattina fan, Francesco Mattina. This was a book that came out years ago. I'm going to say 2015 or 16. Nova #1. This is the Mattina 1 in 50 cover by Mattina. I got this for $50. $50. I think with shipping it was like $56. I just got it in the mail today. It is in impeccable condition. It's definitely a 9.6 to 9.8 candidate. No spine ticks, and it's a black cover, so I checked the photos really carefully to make sure there wasn't any spine ticks or dings or anything like that. The spine is absolutely perfect. Corners are all nice and sharp. I definitely think this could be a 9.8 candidate. 9.8. This book should be $300 to $400 easily. So I'm telling you, there are some great deals on eBay, especially in auctions. I picked this up for $50. If I get this graded and slabbed, it's easily a $300 to $400 book. I wouldn't sell it for less than $300. So, yep. Now, having said that, I don't plan on slabbing this because I don't want to sell it. So, but never know. Down the road, I may end up getting it slabbed. I'm pretty sure it would get a 9.8 grade, and it's a rare Mattina cover. 1 in 50. There's just not a lot of these out there. I've never seen this book at a comic book shop ever. So again, now you talk about rare books. This is going to be a rare book. I'm going to be highlighting tonight. The one that's really rare it's a cool book. I paid $100 for this book, guys. It was expensive. I paid $100 because I honestly don't know if I'll ever see it for sale again. There are a lot of wrestling fans out there. That's why I had Macho Man as my avatar right there, right? That's my new avatar is Randy the Macho Man Savage. Man, he was one of the most, I'd say him and Nature Boy Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, you've got a couple characters that are just really stand out. The Rock, obviously. John Cena, there's a handful of wrestlers that stand out in history. Andre the Giant, obviously, I loved Andre the Giant, but I don't think there was another wrestler more colorful and flamboyant and just amazing than the Macho Man. He had that his wife Miss Elizabeth on his shoulders. I mean, he was something else. This guy, and and he was a real celebrity. He did the Slim Jim commercials. He was just a real big celebrity. But in the world of wrestling, the other wrestler that a lot of people love is Sting, and this is a really rare book. I've seen it highlighted before on a top 10 list. This is a Wonder Wrestling. I think it's WWE Wrestling 2017 WonderCon variant. So this was a book that came out at a Comic Con, WonderCon, in fact. And it's just an awesome cover. I mean, you got the beautiful beach scenery. in the image of Sting. It's awesome. I'm not a massive wrestling fan, but I used to love watching those guys get on the mic and just start yelling and ripping other people. Yeah, it was the this it's like a soap opera. It's basically men's soap opera, right? Is what wrestling is. We know it's not real. We know, you know, they go back to locker rooms and they're all hugging each other and saying, "Yeah, you did a great job." And the villains aren't really villains. It's obviously it's all made up storylines and things like that. But these guys are athletes. There's no doubt about it. Wrestlers are athletes. They're fantastically well trained. Yes, many of them probably do steroids to get so big. I'm sure many did, but it still takes a lot of skill, and it's dangerous what they're doing, jumping off the ropes, landing, trying not to hurt somebody. There's a lot of skill involved. So I have a lot of respect for professional wrestling, and I just love that cover. It's just awesome. And it's a rare cover. I paid $100 for this, and I didn't hesitate when I saw it. I was like, I need to own that. I don't want to wait around and try to get it for, $20-$30 cheaper. Maybe down the road you could find one of these for 75, $80, maybe. But who knows? This is such a rare book, guys. I'm telling you. You will never, ever see this book at a local comic book shop. You just will, no way in hell will you find this at a local comic book shop. This is in people's collections. The only way you're going to see this for sale and the only reason this came up for sale, this was a Golden Apple book. Golden Apple buys collections from collectors, and this was obviously a book that was in a collection that they bought. That's the only reason it came up for sale, and they priced it at $100, and I bought it. And when will the next one come up for sale? When another collector decides to let go of their personal copy. There ain't a lot of these out there. The print run on this is very low, and I think it's awesome. So I was more than happy to pay $100 for that book. Now, the Macho Man. This is the WWE number 1 in 100 Macho Man exclusive or Macho Man incentive cover. So you had to buy 100 copies of the regular issue of WWE number 1 to get one of these. So that alone makes it a pretty pricey book. I've got 2 raw copies, both in really high grade. They're probably 9.6 to 9.8 candidates for sure. I got one for really cheap. I got one for $50, so basically half of ratio. And the other one I got around $70. So still pretty good. And it's a 1 in 100 incentive. And I got a really good deal on a 9.8 graded slabbed copy. I love it. I mean, this, if you look on eBay right now, there are 3 of these for sale. One for $300, and the other 2 are $250 each. I got them way below that. So way below that. Just an awesome cover. The Macho Man Savage. Let me do an impersonation. I can't do it with my face being shown. I have to see if I can do an impersonation. Oh yeah, I'm the Macho Man. There. That's my Macho Man. What was the other thing you would say? Like slip into a Slim Jim or something like that? Snap a Slim Jim or something? I can't remember. All right, guys, that's what I had for you. I was going to review the Hot 10 list. I'm going to do that maybe Friday, maybe tomorrow night. I'll have some time to do it. It's getting too late. It's 10 o'clock. I'm going to get ready for bed soon. The bourbon's kicking in. So I will highlight, I'm a week behind. Last week's Hot 10 list, I will review that. I'll probably try to do that tomorrow evening. So if you're around, if you want to check out my live stream, I will be reviewing that Hot 10 list. I promise I'll get that out. GTK Comics says, I have a feeling that if and when they announce a movie or show streaming service news for the High Republic, those books will go nuts. Probably so. I would agree with that. That definitely could happen. Justice, you got some hot ratios, exclusives, bud, but I am envious. Well, thank you, sir. Back in the 80s when wrestling was real. Yeah, I remember one of my earliest memories, I was staying at my grandparents' house in Naples. Um, my family had just moved to Florida, and I remember my neighbor was into wrestling, and I was over at his house watching Dusty Rhodes. I remember Dusty Rhodes, and I was mesmerized by it because I think I think he cut himself or something on the forehead, but it made it look like he got smashed in the head, and so there's blood. There's blood running down his forehead and down his mouth. And I'm watching this. I'm probably 7 or 8 years old at the time, so I had never seen anything like that. So I was just like, wow, man, look at this blood all over his face. I didn't know it wasn't real. I'm 7 years old. What the hell do I know? So that was my first experience with wrestling. And I thought it was real. And I just remember it was Dusty Rhodes. He was kind of overweight. He didn't have this cut physique or anything. He kind of looked like the guy you'd see at the local bar. He's a bigger guy, but big old belly. It's probably strong as hell, but yeah, he didn't look like a supermodel or anything like that. Just hilarious. Oh man, GTK Comics says wrestling was real back then. Yeah, I mean, it looked like those guys were hurting each other. That's for sure. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. GTK Comic, Luis Ramirez. Sometimes I think it's just GTK Comic and a few people. I know Cardstock was here. Kenneth Bird was here. Yeah, thank you guys. Luis Ramirez, thank you for hanging out with me and spending some time in the chat with me. It makes I wish more people would show up. I used to get like 20, 30 people in the chat. I don't know. These days, I think ever since TikTok really took off, I think most people are on TikTok at night when they should be on YouTube watching live streams. I think they're on TikTok. So I don't know. Maybe one of these days I need to start my Justice for Comics TikTok show. That's probably what I'm going to have to do. I don't know. I'll probably reach a lot more people if I did that. So I don't know. That maybe is something to consider. Maybe I'll start doing live streams on TikTok. Could always do that. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Have a great evening, and I will see you all soon.